So did you hear the section where I was talking about the unit aims and the learning outcomes, or would you like me to go over those?
No problem, because I already know about this.
Yeah, okay. So today we're just going to be looking at learning outcome 1, so understand the processes of recruitment in organizations. And we'll look at 1.1, which is evaluate the importance of recruiting and retaining a highly skilled workforce. And then we'll look at 1.2, analyze recruitment processes in organizations. So where's my PowerPoint there? So we'll make a start. So again, the aim of this, like we were saying earlier, is just to look at recruitment. We're going to look at the human resources processes, how you would manage job performance, what rewards there are, what recognition there are for employees, and any type of training and development that you might do to keep an employee within your company. So for 1.1 is evaluate the importance of recruiting and retaining a highly skilled workforce. Now, when we think about highly skilled workforce, we've got to think about why is it important that we have a skilled workforce. Now, it can be as plain as the fact that is having a skilled workforce, they know exactly what they need to be doing. You're not having to hold their hand and guide them. You're not having to train them unnecessarily, because they can come in from day one, they'll be able to get in with the job. So you're going to maximize your productivity within your organizations. Those skilled workers are actually going to be experts at the job. So again, increased productivity, and you might even get a higher turnover. So paying a little bit more to get somebody skilled might actually be more beneficial in the long run. Now, comparing this to unskilled workers, on the other hand, is that you might hire someone, you might get them in for cheaper, you might have to pay them less money. But the fact is, you're going to be spending a lot of time training them. It's going to take up a lot of your valuable time. It's going to take a lot of your resources. And in the meantime, when that person is set to work, they might make mistakes. There might be things that have to be redone. So it's time wastage is happening in that aspect. Now we're going to look at the importance of recruitment. So when we're recruiting people, when you're finding somebody, you need to actually look for the employees that have the right skills. But how is this actually done? So most companies, regardless of their size, will have some type of HR department. So it might just be one person that's working in administration, or it might be a whole team of people that are within the human resources department. Now, the HR department will actually advertise. They're going to look at their organizational needs and requirements. They're going to see what type of person they need, what type of skills they need, and they're actually going to set out an advertisement according to their own needs. Then they're going to carry out processes to see if the employees, if the potential employee is actually the right fit for them. Will they be suitable within the company? Will their attitude suit them? Will they be able to work for them? So they're going to have to check that out now. Now, this diagram here, it just goes over what human resources actually do. So in this section, they're shortlisting, they're recruiting, they're interviewing, they're looking at presentations, in-tray exercises, psychometric tests, and aptitude testings, and we'll go over these over the next 3 slides. So there are actually processes in place to make sure that you get the right person with the right skills for your company. Because if you end up going through a lengthy process where you're advertising, you're looking through CVs, application forms, it can take a long time to look over however many might come to you. You're going to want to make sure that when you start your interview process, your recruitment process, that everything goes smoothly. So you want to make sure you actually end up with the right person, because you don't want to have someone in for 2 months for them and then for you to go back and start the process over again. Now, when this process is done in the right way, there are benefits of this, because you can get employees from a diverse background. You can make sure that equality and diversity is being met, and that you're not, discriminating against certain people. So all applicants will be considered upon their skills. So it doesn't matter what race they are, what gender they are, what their ethnicity is, what their abilities are, whether or not you like their personality personally. You're going to be making sure that you're getting the right person according to the skills. Another benefit is that you'll get improved skills and creativity. So you get somebody in that skill, they might have different ideas, they might have a different way of working. You're getting that coming in. And then it's cost effective because it's less time training people. So if you've got a skilled worker coming in, you're not having to spend a lot of time, training them in every single thing. You might just show them your systems, what sort of things you use on your computers or what sort of machinery you use, and that's it. And then you're done. They're fine to go ahead. Now, having skilled workers can actually lead to an increase in profits. So this will actually lead to a growth for your company. This will also benefit your employee health because they're not going to be stressed out. They know what they need to do. They've got the knowledge, the competence, they're able to carry out their tasks without even thinking, to be honest, because it's the daily work that they're used to. So they're very competent in what they're doing. If you have unskilled workers trying to do challenging tasks, this might lead to them being stressed or frustrated or angry or aggressive. So you're going to have a lot of mistakes being happened. You're going to have a waste of resources as well. So it's always nice to have skilled versus unskilled workers, depending on which job which position you're looking to fill. And we're just going to look at the recruitment strategy. Are you okay so far with everything I've said?
Yes.
Fantastic. So every company will have a recruitment strategy. Now, this is just a basic one. So how do they sort these things out? So they're going to advertise, they're going to make a selection, they're going to offer, so once they've done the recruitment process, they're going to offer the job to someone, they're going to, have orientations, feedback processes, they're going to talk between themselves. So what sort of strategy does, again, like I said, every company will differ, but this is just the basic diagram that how it will work. So now that you've got your skilled workers, so first we were talking about why it's important to get skilled workers, but now we're going to talk about why it's important to retain them. So retaining, so you've got these people, you spend a lot of time and money trying to find somebody who's appropriate for your job. They're here now, they're working for you. How do you keep them with you? So there's quite a lot of ways that you can do that. And as you go through this unit, you'll notice there's a lot about motivation and rewards and recognition. So it all really works as one basis, retaining. So to retain your employee, you want to make sure you're paying them well. You want to make sure that they're being mentored, that they've got somebody there that they can actually focus, that somebody can actually help them. Now, you might notice coaching and mentoring. Coaching is just when somebody might have, say, I don't know how to use a particular application. Maybe I don't know how to use Excel. You might come in and you might coach me and show me how to do Excel. So for that day, for that hour, you've coached me. But a mentor will be there for you long term. They'll actually be there over a period of months, not just a couple of hours. You need to make sure that they're actually challenged, they're promoted, and they're actually part of the team. So, encourage them to make friendships within the team. It's going to have them be loyal to your company. You're going to feel appreciated. They're going to feel involved. So other ways that you can keep hold of your workers is money and benefits. So have a rewards and recognition system. When I was, say, 16, 17, I used to work in this camera shop. And we used to have quite a high turnover of staff at that time. I worked there for maybe 5 years or so, all through my college and university years. Now, the reason I stayed there was because I knew that there was, number one, I loved being there. The atmosphere was fantastic. But the second thing was that there was a reward system. So depending on what you sold or what your output was for the month, we would get vouchers or gift baskets and things, and that actually made people want to stay. So it's always nice to have a reward system. You can also have a recognition system where maybe you're being Employee of the Month, or you're sending out an email and thanking somebody in particular for their hard work. So it can be little things as well. Make sure that they're involved, like I said previously. So make them a member of the team. Reiterate that they are an important part of the organization, that they're here, and that you do appreciate them, and that they are as part of the family, in other words. Give them proper training where it is available. Now, this is a thing actually where my brother, in his career, is a project manager. Now, when he first started off in his career, he was working in offices and so on for the local council. And within that, they recognized that they gave educational assistance. So what they did was they helped put him through an additional degree and helped to enhance his career. So even though they couldn't offer in-house training, they actually paid for him to go on and develop. So proper training, proper educational assistance, these things are beneficial for your workers. And then again, promote co-worker relationships and friendships. It's nice for them to have ties within the company. And then the final part of this, benefits, are that it'll save in the long run, it's going to actually save you money. Because if you think about it, you've spent a very big amount of time to actually advertise, go through all these applications, try and find the right person. So if that person comes into the work and they leave within 6 months, or they leave within 3 weeks, what is statistically what it is worked out as, if you're having to do all this recruitment process again, wages and so on, it works out as you're losing 3 to 6 months worth of your profitability. So you're getting worse off than if you actually just offer incentives to your current employees and try to retain them. And then again, it's also important for the continuation of your organization. So if you've got staff that are really happy to work for you, they're happy to come in, they're loyal, they're looked after, they know that they've got certain needs that are being met, they're in a comfortable environment, they've got comfortable chairs, it's warm, they've got tea, coffee, they've got good breaks, they're actually going to stay for you. And at the end of it, what they might end up doing is they might refer some friends that they know or other skilled people and say, this is a fantastic company, they really look after us, we've got a job opening coming up soon, do you want to apply for it? So it really works out well. So this section was just us looking at recruiting and retaining. Are you okay with everything I've gone over, or would you like to ask any questions?
Yes, yes.
So we're just going to look at analysing recruitment processes in organisations. Now,
Okay.
we're just going to look at who actually does the recruitment, who makes the decisions, who does the selection. So we've got just a basic image over here, and it shows that the HR director is at the top. Then you've got recruiters, employees, so it just gives a basic layout of the members within HR. So the HR department will set out the applications, the advertisements, they'll go through your applications, they'll see what they need to do. The overall job for the person to actually recruit will be either the functional managers or the recruitment officers. So it really depends on company to company. There are a load of methods of recruitment. So you can do it through application forms, you can do it through CVs. Application forms are quite a lengthy process to go through, but the good thing about application forms is you control what information you get. So you know that every single person that has applied will be answering the same type of questions. They're going to tell you about their experience, they're going to tell you which jobs they've worked in, they're going to give you all the information that you want. CVs, on the other hand, they're a little less common, but what happens with the CV is there are some jobs that will actually ask you to, especially specialized jobs, that will say send in a CV instead. Now, the good thing for the applicant is that the person, they can actually tailor their CV. They can change it around. It won't take them a long time to complete. They can just adjust it or tweak it, and they can send it to you. But the fact is that you're only getting the information that the person wants you to see. So it's inconsistent information. One person might be telling you about 10 years worth of work history. Another person might only mention 2 years worth. So someone might tell you about their hobbies, whereas another person will just, not mention it at all and just tell you about their qualifications. So it really is tailored to what the applicant wants you to see. So if this is the case, there can be some safeguarding issues that can come about with this, because we've got to make sure that when we're recruiting, that we make sure that we're following the Equality Act of 2010. So we've got to make sure that we're not discriminating. So because you're getting handed a CV which is personalized rather than a application form, you're going to have your age, your race, your religion, whatever you want on it, it might be on it. So when you're giving it to a shortlister, normally the information is blanked out so that they don't know who it is. So this will actually help, that you're making sure that you're doing careful evaluation of the actual skills that a person has, and not just, dismissing something because you don't like someone's name. Now, what recruiters are actually having is that they're getting awareness training. So it helps them to recognize and challenge their own prejudices, their own beliefs. So they get to recognize that, right, I might be prejudicing against a certain gender. I might not like females in here, or I might not be happy about having this person that's physically impaired. So it really does help having this type of information blanked out, and also to get the training where necessary. Now, once you've advertised, once you've gone through all the application forms, you're going to want to set up interviews. Now, earlier they used to be face-to-face. They were very, you call someone, you tell them, right, this is the date you're coming in. You'll be able to see them face-to-face. So the best thing about face-to-face interview was that you can actually analyze someone's body language. You can see what sort of person they are from how. Get your other staff members to keep an eye on them while they're in the waiting room. Are they being polite to the desk staff? Are they being rude to them? Are they sitting there playing on the phone? So you can actually have a full rounded view of what that particular person is like. But because they're remote working from home, telecommuting, all of these types of jobs that are available now, there's different types of interview processes. So they can be done over Skype, over Zoom, over Teams. So it's not necessarily just face-to-face. In interviews, you can actually also have not just traditional someone sitting down and you're asking each other questions. You can actually have assessments taking place before the interview, during it, or after it. You might have a range of interviews where you go in for 2 days. You go in for some tests, and then you go for the actual face-to-face interview. Now, we've got different tests. So we've got psychometric testing, and this actually checks your attributes. So what they'll do is it'll check what your mental measure is. So they will check your ability, your aptitude, and your personality. So these things are covered in this. So they'll see what your ability is against the job-related performance, what your aptitude is, and what type of personality you've got. Are you somebody that they might get along with, or are you somebody that they might have a clash with? And then again, we're going to talk a bit about ability and aptitude tests. So the ability test is just something that talks about what it comes within aptitude. So again, like I said, it is just where you're checking, have you got competence in this? So if you're going for an accountancy job, somebody might give you a data sheet and say, okay, can you try and work this out? Can you see what a profit and loss margin is? Or can you go on Excel and can you do these particular programs? Can you use these systems? So they're just going to check how well versed you are in certain systems or processes. So ability tests can cover your general intelligence, your verbal ability, your numerical ability, your spatial ability, clerical, diagrammatical, and mechanical ability. So it's not necessary that they'll check every single thing on here, but depending on what the requirements are, they'll tweak it in accordance to that. Then you've got personality profiling. So you're going to identify any type of behavior that might be suited to the job than others. So if you're going to want somebody in like a managerial position, you don't want somebody that's too agreeable. You don't want someone who is very meek or just goes, yes, yes, of course, yes, I agree with everything. You want somebody that has got their own mind and they're comfortable in certain things like conflict and managing people. So personality profiling will actually help you identify if somebody is suited for that job. Now, when we're going for, say, teaching jobs, now you'll be asked to do a presentation, or if you're going in for a high, like a managerial position, you might be asked to do a presentation. You'll get a particular topic, and they'll say, right, you have, before your interview, and they'll say, right, you have this many weeks, we'll see you in 2 weeks' time. We want you to create a 10-page presentation or a 10-slide presentation for us. And then they'll see what your ability is that way as well. You can also work in group exercises, so there's a lot of candidates who will be working together. And then the best thing about these group exercises is that when you've got a bunch of people working in, you can actually have an idea of where the natural leadership lies, who's going to take charge, who's going to be too forceful, who's not contributing, who's being extremely shy. So you're able to see a whole lot of personality traits within that, and you're also able to see that how will this person work with other people. And then references, that's completely self-explanatory. It normally happens where you might get some references before you call somebody in for an interview. Now, when we were talking about testing, these things normally take place in assessment centres. Now, it's not necessary that they're actually put in place in an assessment centre. It might just be a room within the building that you work at. It might be in a specialist centre. It might be, at the moment, within your own home, where you're actually, filling out just things over the internet. So if it is in an assessment centre, to make sure that it's fair and unbiased, you should always give individuals that have, because not everybody has traditional academic backgrounds. Some people will have work skills that they've progressed through. So somebody might come in with a degree with certain things and say, right, I've got this paperwork showing that I can do this job. But then there might be somebody who's got industry experience and worked for 30 years within a particular job and work that way. So it really depends. You've got to make sure that when you're in a test centre, that you're actually making sure that everybody is giving a good opportunity to demonstrate their skills and their abilities. And then once all of this has been done, at the end of the recruitment process, the HR department they'll make their selection, they'll appoint the candidate or the people that they feel will be a good fit. They'll give them an offer of employment, and this will normally just include things like terms of employment, employment contracts, start dates. It might go through things like if you need to get a DBS check, so a criminal check done against you. So it just goes through those simple processes. So that's the end of 1.2. So in total, we've just looked at the importance of a skilled workforce. We looked at the benefits, so things like it's cost effective, you have increased profitability, you've got better employee health because less stress, more skilled workers, they're competent, they know what they're doing. Retention, where you will give money and benefits, you'll have rewards, you'll have training. And then the recruitment process is about who does the hiring. So we looked at who hires. So it's the recruitment staff. And then we looked at the methods of recruitment. So CV, application forms, interviews and assessments. So, Ritesh, do you have any questions you'd like to ask? Hi, Rita, are you still there? Right, just in case you've dropped off again, I'll just go on to the end of this. So this is the plenary, this is what we've looked at. So I've gone over what points we've just been looking at. If you go into your unit specification sheet and scroll down past the learning outcomes, I'm pretty sure you're already familiar with this, but I'll point it out. It's just the indicative content. So this little section here for learning outcome 1, it actually just highlights what things you should include when you're... Oh, hello.
Yes.
Hi. I was just saying I've gone over the end. Is there any questions you'd like to ask?
The last word that I heard that you said that to highlight this and what?
Was it just now?
Yes,
Yeah, I was just saying I'm going to highlight this. I was just saying this is on your, let me come back out of it. This is on your specification sheet. So I'm saying that you've probably already seen this because you've done 3 units already, haven't you?
Yes,
Yeah. So you've already probably seen this, but I was just highlighting this little section here, the indicative content. So we've gone through a lot of this information here. And when you're writing your assignment, just have a look at this. Make sure that your assignment matches what the points that are on here. It just makes it a lot easier when you're doing your assignment to make sure that you've got the right type of information in them.
Okay.
So this is just underneath your specification sheet. You just scroll down.
All right.
And then it's got it for every single section. So you've got learning outcome 1, learning outcome 2, 3, and 4, all on here.
Okay, perfect.
So were you able to hear it? Were you okay with what I was going through on the slides? Did you have any questions? Did you have any questions?
No. It's clear, no.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's quite a nice, simple learning outcome, to be honest. It's just 2 assessment criteria: recruitment, how you get your staff, how you keep them, and then how you're actually what sort of processes you use. So it's quite self-explanatory, yes. Tomorrow we're going to be looking at learning outcome 2. So we'll look at the principles and practice of people management. Now, I was saying this earlier, but I think you dropped off by then. If you look on your Moodle where all the resources and PowerPoints are, you'll notice that the PowerPoints are not here yet. The reason for this is that I've been working on them on the weekend, so I was just getting them updated, so they will get added shortly. So don't worry if you don't see them here. So what we've gone through, this will get added shortly onto your onto where you can access it. So you'll be able to see everything that I've gone through.
Okay.
Yeah. So unless you've got any questions or you want to ask anything, then stop recording.